Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. You can find us on television back up or close to Huntsville, Alabama, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com and the biggest country radio station in South Carolina, WZLA. We appreciate you listening to the format of that show. They have a great morning show with Benji and Lacey. Go ahead and check that out. It's a brother and sister, so you can just about imagine they get family drama in there sometimes. But for the most part, it's a great, great show. And you can find out more about the local communities right here in South Carolina. I've got AP Steadham with me right now, and he is AP as we see it, been with us a long time. And I wanted to show AP a coffee mug. This is back from the day. This is when the show started 21 years ago. I actually salvaged this one right here. It doesn't have any chips or breakage or anything on it. So as soon as I get through recording with you, this is going back into the china cabinet. Maybe we'll break it before we go back in.
Lock and key.
Lock and key. That way I'm not going to break it. So that's not to say I won't break it on the way going upstairs to put it into the china cabinet. Going. But AP's been with us a really long time as well. And AP and I have seen a lot of changes within college football itself. That's not even talking about basketball, but it seems like college football has just changed so much just within the last couple of years. You referred it to being the wild, wild west. I think it may have tamed down some, but we still have some new challenges out there. And one you were going to talk to us about is a little gambling scene going on there.
Yeah, Donna, we've had gambling in sports through the ages, but I've never seen it to this degree. There's a player, Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback at Texas Tech. He signed with them after playing at Indiana, initially in Cincinnati last year, for about $5 million reportedly. So, but he admitted to the gambling around $90,000, and he was deemed ineligible by the NCAA, naturally, because that's one of the tenets of all the sports, professional sports, college sports, so you can't bet on your own team. But he went to court and he found a judge that would file an injunction against the NCAA. So he's going to be eligible this season. He's going to sit out the first two games against Abilene Christian and Oregon State, come back, I think, the third game, University of Houston, which, by the way, I think that judge I've heard was a University of Houston graduate. But anyhow, it's just amazing to me that somebody who could be gambling and betting on his own team is going to be allowed to compete in the sport of college football. I use the example that in life, for instance, if you have a driving license, that everybody has that opportunity. But if you violate and be a detriment to yourself and others on the road, that your license is suspended or revoked permanently. So, but it seems in college athletics, if you don't like the rule, and the rules are all by the membership of the NCAA, you're going to go to court and get some smart lawyers and try to get an injunction against the ruling by the NCAA. And so far they're successful, but it's kind of hard to believe, Donna, that in every sport in the United States and probably across the globe, you can't gamble on your team, but now they're saying you can, and we can suspend you for a couple of games and everything's all right. The appellate court that won't meet until February, which is after the season, so it really doesn't matter, because Brendan Sorsby will be gone, probably be eligible for the professional ranks, the NFL and other leagues. So, but I never thought I'd live to see a day you can gamble on your own team in college athletics and you're allowed to compete.
That's really strange. So I want to ask you, okay, from the other team members, have you heard any chatter about what the other team members are saying about this?
Yeah, they are not. Yeah, they are not happy. His teammates, of course, they were going to support him, but I would think that he's going to have to earn their trust in the locker room. But some of the teams that are competing in the world of college football, athletic directors and such, they're claiming that they would not play Texas Tech. But I'm thinking that if you make that statement right now, and Texas Tech is deemed eligible to compete and earn a berth in the college football playoff, when you're pitted against them, what are you going to do? Back away and adhere to your original statement? You're not going to compete against Texas Tech. Your fan base won't allow you. They're going to say, look, you're not the judge and the jury. You have to follow the leadership of college football, and if the committee deems that we're going to match up against Texas Tech, we're going to have to go play that team. So you can make those types of statements, so you're not competing against Texas Tech. Maybe they mean for the future they're not going to schedule them, but in this season, if Texas Tech makes the playoffs and you're lined up against them because the committee designated you in that slot, you're going to have to play against Texas Tech and that quarterback.
This is like a big game of chess here going on. So
Yes.
I would think that the coach of this guy would have a little more leeway in the decision on proceeding with this guy being on there. I mean, what's the coach saying about all of this?
Donna, a player such as Brendan Sorsby, he cannot proceed unless the coaching staff, the administration, the university is in favor of him returning. Now, they base their decision to proceed on the mental health of the athlete. In other words, he's being diagnosed with an addiction to gambling, which is fine. Like I said, people have mental health issues, but when you violate something on the road, for instance, and you injure somebody, they're going to revoke your driver's license possibly for a temporary amount of time or maybe permanently. But it just seems that in this instance, even though he has a gambling addiction, it's part of the mental health argument that his lawyers presented to the judge. They're allowing for him to come back and just be suspended for the first 2 games. So, like I said, the player and the university have to be in support of each other if they're going to try to turn around this decision in court with an injunction.
And they can't do that until after the season. I mean, basically, that's the nutshell.
The appellate ruling will be in February, so he's going to be able to compete, which is it's astonishing. I'm just at a loss for words to see that somebody could gamble. I mean, there was something like 2,900 bets, and he was giving money to other people. Obviously, when you're giving money to other people, you realize that you're in the wrong.
You know you are.
Mm-hmm. So that's no question. And so, but he's going to be allowed to play, and I just can't see if the NCAA, they can't enforce their own rules, Donna. But like I said, this may be a strategy that the NCAA said, look, we're going to make him ineligible, and if he goes to court and if it's not in our favor, this may be having a galvanizing effect on the rest of college athletics to say, we have to do something together. We have to compromise now. They have this Protect College Sports Act that's a bipartisan bill that comes out of the Senate. Now, we know that they're on recess after July or something, so they don't have much time to get their act together, pun intended. The NCAA, if they want to change college athletics moving forward.
But here's the issue, though. Once Pandora is out of the box,
that's it. Yeah.
Then you're done, because now the other players are not going to feel like this is fair. And, a number of others are doing the same thing. Just haven't been caught.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Donna, because this is not a one-off. There's one player in college athletics gambling. We know this. And if this comes up again, the NCAA, I don't know what they're going to do, if they're just going to try to make that player ineligible, make that person go to court, or get a local judge to rule in their favor and provide that injunction against the NCAA and reinstate the player. So I don't know, but Congress, they've been trying for years. I'm saying 5. I'm saying probably more than that, actually. But college athletics, they're looking to Washington to have something done with the sport. But the Big Ten and the SEC, they've come out against the Protect College Sports Act, which is really unusual. You're meeting with Washington all the time, and right away, as soon as it's released, and this is just the Senate version, doesn't even we're not even looking at the House version. That they're going to make some amendments to that as well. But the 2 most powerful leagues and commissioners, they come out against the proposed legislation. So I don't quite understand. I mean, why do you let a bill become public and you don't come to a compromise? Those 2 leagues, the Big Ten and the SEC, and you're against it. So how is it going to move forward?
Well, let me ask you this. Could it actually backfire on this team? I mean, okay, so I'm the opposing team. I'm looking at you. You got out there and you basically got by scot-free and, throughout the season. Could this make them go tougher?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're not one of the favorite teams right now across the country, let's say, because they're realizing that their player gambled, which is against the rules, and they went to court. And it's like you're stomping your feet like you're having a temper tantrum. You're a child. You didn't get your way, and so you had a temper tantrum, and that was manifested by going to court and finding a local judge to rule in your favor. So to answer your point, yeah, it's not good publicity for Texas Tech, but they're looking out for their own interest, and that's what most of these schools and conferences and commissioners, it seems that we can't get anybody to look at the entire scope of the sport and say, now, is this good for the sport? Forget, is it good for me?
It should be good for the sport and not just for.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult, Donna, to get people in this day and age to have a broader picture of the influence on their individual decision.
Because what I see is Pandora's box is open. Now you're going to have more stuff. Okay? Because any client can say, well, no, wait a minute, just like kids would do. He got by with it. Why about me?
That's right. They're gonna use that as a precedent. Not, and the precedent wouldn't be set until maybe this appellate court rules in February, but they're going to say, for the meantime, I'm standing by Texas Tech. They did it. We can do it.
Mm-hmm. Of course it could. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan. What's up? I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these?
Of course. Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Continue sending email, by the way. I love it. AP can tell you every time you send an email, I just go crazy, funky inside. It just makes me feel so good. DonnaEdge.com, Donna at DonnasEdge.com. We'd like to take your recommendations. That's how this show grows. And it's all about you. It's not about me whatsoever. I'm just the message giver out here. AP's a message giver too. AP, as we see it, let's talk about your show. What's going on there? And who were your reviews last week?
Yeah, Donna, last week we had a chance to visit with somebody who was familiar with the University of Georgia. Every week we're trying to review the teams in the SEC one by one, or sometimes we have two guests. But last week we had John Nelson, who's with OSG Sports out of Atlanta. So we had a preview of the Georgia Bulldogs, and we also went over the college football ballot. There's 18 players that are up for the Hall of Fame, and they make those announcements in January. But we'll be at that banquet. They used to hold that banquet down at the Waldorf Astoria, and but now they hold it in Las Vegas. So that was our show last week. But Donna, this week we have an interesting guest. One of our guests is Ramogi Huma, and he's the executive director of the National College Players Association. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, but he was a linebacker at UCLA. But he's been advocating for players for decades, and so I'll be really interested to hear his perspective on this gambling issue and just college sports in general that's in flux and trying to make changes, because there is a pendulum when you have legislation down of the players versus the universities and who's going to get the best deal when this legislation is proposed. And right now, the players, they're trying to cap their ability to make money with the name, image, and likeness, whereas right now it's wide open, Donna. And I always say myself, if you're going to cap the players, I would cap the coaches as well. But you don't hear that. You don't hear that drumbeat. You don't hear that drumbeat of capping the coaches. You know, the coaches are all upset about the uncertainty of sports and the free agency under the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness, and the ability to keep pushing up the salaries. Donna, just to give you an idea, this year, the reported figures are for Texas's roster, University of Texas football, $47.9 million roster. Wow. And a couple of years ago, we were looking at maybe, let's say, 20 million. So it's already doubled in 3 or 4 years, Donna. So where's it heading? I don't know. But just to give you an idea, $47.9 million, that is the roster figures being reported for the University of Texas. They're number one.
Let me ask you a question about that. So where does the money come from to be
Right.
able to manage all of this? Is it through sponsorships, companies? I mean, how does this work out?
Yeah, it's a combination of sponsorships under the name, image, and likeness rules, and then also the revenue sharing through the schools themselves. That's $20.5 million at this point. So it's a combination of those two. And I don't understand this loophole that they came out with the ruling of the 20.5 revenue sharing. And I thought, well, okay, that's going to be the top figure. But then you have these name, image, and likeness, which is outside that revenue sharing that was deemed the correct number for all these schools when they went to court. So the name, image, and likeness, that's a separate issue. So there's no cap on that number at this point. And I think that's causing all the consternation and the coaches being upset because they're trying to keep up with each other. Mm-hmm. But So my feeling down about college athletics, there's not a money issue. It's not a money issue. It's a spending issue. Okay. When you're paying coaches $14 million, you're paying ADs 2-3 million, coordinators, offense and defense, 2-4 million, close to 4 million with Ohio State, let's say. You can't turn around and tell everybody, oh, there's a problem with the money. We don't have enough money. Really? You just got through paying the coach $14 million. We can pay for several teams by using, let's say, if you paid him $2 million and gave us $12 million, we could fund other sports in our program sufficiently. So I think that it's really a form of brainwashing, Donna, when you look at it.
It is too. Like with my company, for instance. Okay. So we were looking for somebody, we're looking for computers, well, I'm going to seek everybody out. I want the best computer possible for the best amount of money. So I'm very careful. I don't care if I were a billionaire, I would still run my business that way. So I'm not understanding, are there too many chiefs running everything? And maybe the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing? Because that's a collapse within the whole industry someday soon.
Yeah, Donna, if you always look at an issue, and I use that phrase, follow the money, or the problem is if you don't know the answer, it's always money, because there's vested interest in these athletic directors and administration making all this money through so many years. So right away when the players have a chance, wait, we have a problem with money. Wait a minute, we can't be paying players. Well, you've been paying yourself all these years, 50 years. It's been coming. The players wanted to be paid, and it finally came to fruition in the last number of years, recent years. So this idea, you don't have any money. You had plenty of money when you were giving yourself a raise in millions of dollars and paying your coaches way over $10 million, right? 14 million, that's not close to 10. That's way over 10 million. And that's just one coach. That's one coach of one program, one part of your program, the football program. So,
but there are so many chiefs. There are so many. Okay. Is there really one person who truly heads up the whole organization?
Yeah, Donna, you've heard from years that they want a college football czar, but Donna, these commissioners, they are not relinquishing their power. So when you hear them say, let's have somebody such as Nick Saban be the czar of college football. Number one, I don't think he wants to be the czar of college football. And there's nobody giving up their power, Donna. Mm-hmm. We see that the Big Ten and the SEC have total control of the college football playoff, and they have to make a decision if they want to change it from 12 to 16 or 24 by December 1st. Two people, they can't come to an agreement. Two people of all 138 teams, it's in the hands of two people, two conferences. They cannot come up with an agreement. They're still fighting and bickering about should it be 12 teams, should it be 16, should it be 24. So why do you think that they're going to give up their power to one person and give them the authority to manage all of college football? I don't see it. So there is no one person down in the NCAA. They can't enforce their rules right now because everybody's running the court. They're having a temper tantrum if they don't like the eligibility. They don't like the fact that one of their players violated the rules. So I don't know if there will be any resolution in the foreseeable future. I don't think so at this moment.
But there has to be. Okay, let's use my business for an example. So when Phil and I owned 8 Nextel stores with cell phone stores, we were all over the state of Alabama.
Right.
Okay, so we had employees who were salespeople. We also had a manager over those employees. Okay, then we had 2 area managers, and these 2 area managers, 8 stores. One of them would handle 4 stores. The other one would be the other 4 stores.
Right.
Then this person answered to Phil and me.
Right.
Okay. And you better believe I checked books. You better believe I looked at every dime spent. I mean,
right.
Sure. And that's why we were able to sell these stores and make a profit, because you were actually showing a profit. Several people were in the background helping make decisions, but ultimately Phil and I made the final decisions on everything. There has to be that, or you're going to flop.
Yeah. I just don't know if there's one person that will ever have full management of college football. I just don't see it, because these conferences, they dictate through the money that they receive through television and the revenue that the program generates. it's unlikely to me that you're going to have one person leading college football. But if they want to do something, the time is now. Maybe with this gambling situation, maybe that tips the cup over, I guess. And people say we need to get together now. We can't have players that are gambling on their own team violate one of the top tenets of college athletics and is allowed to come back and compete.
Okay, I've got an idea. This is from Donna Thiesel's common sense method. How about we do this? We have someone kind of like a police commissioner, where the police commissioner is like really over all the cops. And I'm just using this for an example. But now the police commissioner also has somebody that keeps him in check. Okay. Right. And he and this person go back at it, back and forth, just to keep everything running. Think about New York. New York's huge. They have hundreds of cops. Okay, so there has to be a police commissioner. Yes. But now this police commissioner has somebody keeps him in check. Maybe we need to invent a new role there.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I like I said, you have two people in a room trying to figure out the college football playoff. They can't come into an agreement for years now. And that's just one issue.
I'll put it to you this way. If there is a women's football league, I bet you it's running smoother than the guys.
Maybe so, Donna.
Hey, Pete, thanks so much for being with me today. We got to call it a day. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that. You're the reason we do what we do. This has been a good discussion, and we've had a lot of emails pertaining to this lately. So you've answered a lot of questions, AP. Thank you again for your insight.
Thank you.
And thank you again, guys, for the insight you give us for the show. Definitely appreciate that. And another 21 years, maybe. Oh my goodness, I'd be in my 80s. I don't know that I can do that, AP. Maybe this cup will survive another 21 years. We'll see. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye now.
Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zones. I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. We're going to talk about why you should keep honeybees. But before we get started, let's go ahead and talk about how you can find us. You can find us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget that you can also find the podcast on the podcasters, the newscasters.com. Another way you can find us on the radio, WZLA radio station. They're the biggest country station located in South Carolina. So proud to be part of that team. You can also find us another way on television, and that's on Channel 182 Charter Communications, close to Huntsville, Alabama. So it's another great way to find us on television, and we're so excited to be with you. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. honeybees.com. I want to talk to you today about keeping honeybees. And what are the benefits, my goodness, of keeping honeybees? Everybody is freaked out about honeybees. It's like, oh my God. People are almost sometimes afraid to come to the house for the first time because they think they're going to be swarmed by honeybees. But let me tell you something. You don't bother them, they don't bother you. And that's the way they operate. And I wish human beings could be that way, because someone's going to tell you, these things are so versatile. I love having my honeybees. I've noticed an increase in production and gardening. I've noticed the flowers are more beautiful. I mean, everything about honeybees are absolutely fantastic. So my grandmother used to be a beekeeper, so she would keep the honeybees. And I found out that my great-grandfather, which was my granddad's dad, was a beekeeper. I didn't know all that stuff. I just knew my grandmother liked to keep bees. And so my granddad wouldn't touch it. I guess he was a mean little boy, and he would kind of like play with the bees, and he got stung so many times that he decided that's something he would never do. But I'm just going to tell you, I'm like my grandmother. I love honey, and honey to me it's like a cure-all for everything. I mean, if you've got a bad cough, a bad cold, take some tincture of some sort, maybe some that's, like some kind of a berry or something, and then mix just a little bit of honey with it, put some peppermint in it. I also like to put a little bit, just a touch of cayenne pepper, powdered pepper that I do every single year. And what else do I put in there? We mentioned peppermint. There's so many things that you can add to it. Mix it all together and then take a spoon of it. And I'm just telling you, whatever's ailing you, it's going to stop. But I think a big, and I know a lot of research I've done on it, a big reason for all of that is the combination of the ingredients. But honey is one of those natural, wonderful ingredients. If you're trying to cut back on white sugar, a little honey goes a long way. Now, I prefer my coffee black. I don't put anything in it, no creamer, nothing, no sugar, anything like that. But I'm just going to tell you, even I like just a little bit of honey in my coffee. And it's thicker, and it's better than anything that you can buy. And another note, I wanted to mention this to you as well. When you're buying honey, it's best to find a local supplier, somebody who has their bees in your local area, because if you have allergies that are really bad, this honey is going to be awesome. Oh, and let me tell you something. If you get stung by a bee, try to take the stinger out first. Make sure you've got some comfrey salve. That comfrey salve is awesome. So we just got some new bees in, and Phil can pretty much well walk around the bees with just a shirt and shorts on and flip-flops, not worry about it. But these were new ones. They didn't know us, okay? And so they had just been set out. So he did get a few stings. And you can see some swellness. I know I've been stung, I think, twice since we've been keeping bees, which is pretty cool. But I have been stung twice. One got close to my forehead up here, and my whole side of my face was swollen. And then another time I got stung, and I thought, I wonder if comfrey salve is going to help that. And it did. I didn't have the swelling, and it was on my face. You would have seen it when I have my shows. So anyway, that's just another little thing for you. If you get, and I know of people that have used tobacco, like chewing tobacco or maybe snuff. And some of you northern folks don't know what I'm talking about, but snuff is like a powdered kind of a tobacco thing. And what they do is just mix it with just a little bit of water, and then put it on wherever the insect or the bee or whatever bite is, and it takes that sting out. So that's something else that's good, but I prefer using my comfrey plant. I'd rather use that. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at a quick video. I've got quite a few of them. There are 5, and they're all really short. So I'm excited to see what you say about this. Here goes number 1. Hey, I just wanted to show you a little clip about honeybees. And this is sugar water that we have for them, because the nectar flow is just, it's non-existent right now. So they like something sweet. So what I do is I get about a half cup of sugar, and I'll go ahead and just put some hot water in a jar and turn the jar upside down. Gravity works with this thing. It's called a feeder. And so these bees are actually able to go in and get some sugar water. And this is such a good thing for them. But look at these. I mean, they're still out. They're still flying all over the place. And I don't know, there's thousands of bees in this hive. So there's a bottom chamber right down here. We like to leave, and I'm not going to open it right now. We'll wait sometime at night when they're not quite so lively as they are right now. But in the bottom chamber are some or well, I call them files. I'm not sure you're supposed to call them, but they're full of honey, and we like to leave the honey in there for them throughout the winter months, and that's how you keep a hive. Now we might take one frame or two frames out of each hive just to have some honey for us, and then the top, same deal. Some files are in there as well, but this is the way the honeybees work. They like to go out and they like to forage. Now they don't like facing in the wintertime. You have to be really careful how you put them out. And see, Phil has some blocks. I wanted to show that to you as well. We have blocks just to keep moisture away, and just a couple, just to get them just a little bit off the ground. And then also you're going to see right there at the front part where they go in and exit out. This is something that keeps maybe rats away, moths away, and keeps them happy during the wintertime. I'm going to take you out and let you see a couple more hives, and we'll be right back. Okay, here are a couple more hives right here, and they're close to the garden area. Now, I'm just telling you, a bee is going to find honeybees, wasps, whatever. They're going to find food, okay? So you don't have to be right up in them, but I just wanted to show you what we've got here. Now, these are facing the north, and you can see they're very active. We have their sugar water out. Now, another thing you can do with bees, they really don't care how clean the water is. I'm the one who cares how clean the water is, but we're going to get an old pool or something, an old bucket. It needs to be something that's deep enough, for them to get water, because they've got to have that water nourishment. But I'll tell you, above everything else, they love sugar water. And so that's what's going on there. I think I prefer the sugar water better too. But anyway, they are not near as complicated to raise as you may think they are. Now let's talk about the increased pollination of blueberries, blackberries, all of your berries, the elderberries, the cucumbers, the melons, the squash, the fruit trees, and how about just every single thing else? I was noticing the beans that we have. We have 5 different varieties of beans. We've got green beans, we have pintos, and those little limas that everybody likes. And so I've noticed more of a production in the blooms that are coming out. Never done anything with beans that really is a long shot in one of the raised gardens before. Usually you just plant those in the ground. But I've been really pleased, and especially after having the bees. They go around, they pollinate every single thing that's out there. Now we just added 2 more hives. We're going to be adding some more hives as well, so we're really excited about that. Now, on the first video you saw, I mentioned the frames that are in there. Sometimes I call them frames for some reason, or files, but I think the correct terminology is probably frames. But we don't take all of the frames out, especially when we want to see these grow and want them to live through the winter months, and have plenty of food. So as a general rule, if we have 10 frames in a hive, I like to keep a couple of them myself and let the bees have the rest of them so they can survive the winter. That's why we're getting so many hives. I want to make sure they have plenty to eat throughout the winter months, and so that we can have fresh. Now, bees don't live very long, and so they're constantly reproducing. And I'll tell you something that makes you happy when you know you've got a healthy hive is when you start seeing little baby honeybees buzzing around all over the place. You know you've got something that's very healthy right there. If all you see is grown-ups, not so good. I use the beeswax as well. The beeswax is really good for candles and salves and lip balms and that kind of thing. But on lip balms and salves, that's what gives it kind of a better consistency. Like I like to use dandelions, okay? And so what I do is use an oil to infuse the dandelion root. And then it's a long process. It takes several months. The longer it sits in the oil, the absolute best it is. Now, some people do it on the stove, but I prefer the natural way. I just feel like it takes some of the goodness out of it when you heat it that long. And to heat it that long, and to make a salve out of it. Now, this is during emergency. Let's say, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was out of it, and you've got to have some oil. Sure, by all means, do it. But the key to doing this on the stove is not to have the water boiling hot. Basically, all you want it to do is sit and gently simmer in the water for a couple of hours, sometimes 3 hours. It really just depends on whatever plant you're using. I do a little bit longer for the calendula flowers, and I do a little bit longer also for my comfrey roots. And because a root is a root, it's a little harder to do. Now, if you are making a salve or something out of say a comfrey root, you want to cut that up into little pieces as small as possible. Okay, enough about that. Let's go ahead and keep talking about beeswax. I love beeswax for my candles. The beeswax candles are going to last like a long time, and they're almost like what I've liked about paraffin candles. Now, I can't burn a paraffin candle because of my asthma. I mean, I can't breathe when I have those because this paraffin is made out of sludge from the oils and, like gasoline, that kind of thing. It's the stuff at the bottom of the barrel, when they buy the barrels of fuel, that's what it is. And so somebody got a bright idea and started making wax out of it for candles. Well, I can't do that. So I love soy candles. I absolutely love my beeswax candles. But beeswax candles last longer. It's sturdier, it's firmer. And also, if you have your own bees and you're making your own wax, it's best to, put it, if you want to melt it, after you've got to clean it out really good, put it through some kind of a filtration system, and which is easy to do. All you need is just an old colander and then put, cheesecloth in it and just let it go into that. I keep everything with that. And I will tell you, you don't have to clean your things because the bees, they'll find it and they'll clean it out for you. And they will clean it much better than you ever could by putting boiling water over it. Now, you still got to clean it, but I'm just saying they'll get all of the wax and everything off. Lip balms are to die for using beeswax. I would much rather use that than any paraffin any time of the day. But I do my own beeswax, and this is what I've done. I got my own little homemade thing I made several years ago. I just found an old, those old chests, like they're made out of styrofoam. And it's a cheap one. I think I got it at the Dollar General store or something. And so it's way big, and so it has a top on it. So what I did is I found a picture frame, and what I did is I took the picture out and kept the glass and the frame part, and I glued it together. And I'll show you how to do that. I'll be making another one anyway, because I'm going to need some more with all these extra highs we're getting. So what I did is I cut out on the top. Let's just pretend this Altoids box is the top, okay, of the ice chest. You'll take it off, of course, but right here on the top, I cut out a piece, and I used the picture frame for a guide. So I put the picture frame on top of it, and then I just drew with a Sharpie, and then I cut that out. Then I got more hot glue, and I put the picture frame on top of it. And what that does, you put it out into the sun with your colander inside, and all of that awesome wax is going to melt down into the bottom of that. Of course, I keep something else in it, but it's going to be like the best wax ever. You can't buy it like that. And so I let it flow down in there. I let it melt into the bottom of that pan. And then I'll go ahead and I keep the other stuff because there's medicinal uses to some of it looks terrible now. It's terrible. But people spend a lot of money to get that. And I keep it for us for medicinal uses. Now, if there's any trash in it, dead bees, anything like that, I get that out. But we keep that. I forgot what you call it. I'll tell you on another show because I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so all this wonderful wax has melted from the hot sun. You don't have to do a thing. Let me tell you, sometimes people use they'll just get an old crock pot. But now let me tell you, if you ever use the crock pot, it's designated from that point on for your bee work, okay? Because you'll never, ever get that beeswax out of an old crock pot. As a matter of fact, you're starting into the bee business, just buy an old crock pot, getting it at the thrift store, whatever. And so that's a good way to do it. Just keep in mind, you're not going to be able to do your beans or anything else in it ever again. Okay, now we talked about that, the beeswax for that. Let's look at another video. I've got another one I want to show you. It's a real short one. And then after that, we're going to go into a commercial break. Okay, here are a couple more hives right here, and they're close. Okay, I've come back. So I'm going to walk up just a little bit closer to the hive so you can kind of see where I'm coming from right there. See how beautiful those things are? If you want a beautiful garden, you need honeybees. Now, don't be afraid of them. I'm pretty close without my suit on. And what they are is very protective of that queen that's in there. So just wanted to kind of give you a little close-up image, and also let's just see the other one. I'm going to go over to the lavender, which is real close to the girls. I don't know if you can see from here or not. We'll just walk over there inside the fence and let you see the lavender. They are all over that lavender. And I'm looking forward to that lavender infused honey. And it is absolutely awesome. We'll be right back. Okay, let's go into a quick commercial break, and we are going to return in just a few minutes. So y'all hang in there with me, okay? I'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan. What's up? I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these?
Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. Okay, we're back from the commercial break. Again, thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge radio, television, and podcast talk show. You're the reason we do what we do. Let's go ahead and look at the fourth video. Again, it's another short one, and you're going to see me out around the lavender. I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, the bees are very happy pollinators. Now, we have honeybees out here. We also have bumblebees. There are just all kinds of things. But I'll see if I can get just a little bit. The sun is kind of in my face, so I'm not sure I'm even showing it correctly. Okay, right here, that's one of my little honeybees. And she's just a pretty little thing. Could be a he. And, but they are all over the lavender buds. Now, they love all kinds of fruits. They love vegetables. See, we are a bee-friendly garden here. We let the bumblebees come in as well, but especially my honeybees. I'm looking so forward to my honey with the lavender infused in it. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Other flowers, they love the zinnias, and you can see how the zinnias are doing. I like to combine the flowers in with my garden, the rest of the garden area as well. It's, first of all, if you want disease-resistant plants, have some flowers in, and especially, let me take you over right here next door, and you can see, oh, these beautiful, beautiful marigolds, and how they keep disease out. First of all, your pests do not like the smell of marigolds, and they're going to run the other way. Let's take a look at the sunflowers. See, this draws in your pollinators, and when that draws in the pollinators, well, then everything else gets pollinated. As you can see right here with those beautiful blooms in the tomatoes, and that's what they do. They like to come out, and they like to be happy little girls. By the way, this is the coat of many colors, and this is the lettuce, and I'm just telling you, it makes a really good salad. Okay, I'll walk you around just a little bit more. I wanted to give you one other idea, too, about the lavender. And see how your lavender, you have all the blooms and everything here. All of these, there's over 100 cuttings of these. I didn't think they would all survive, but they did. Oh, boy, look at all those pollinators. And it smells so good out here. But what you're looking at with the lavender, all of these came from 4 plants that I had bought several years ago. And when we moved from Alabama back to South Carolina again, I wanted to bring some of my lavender with me, but I didn't want to spend the money for it. So over the winter months, I went on ahead and propagated and just got a little stem, something about the size of this right here. And all I did is I just cut it, and then I took some of the leaves off the bottom, and then I went on ahead and put it in some water for a couple of weeks. Then I put it in soil. And so we got all of these. Now, the greenhouse is not up yet. So what I did this time is I just got a few stems off of what I planted last year. And all of these came out of that. And they have some good, rich, deep roots. And the roots are doing just absolutely awesome. As a matter of fact, what I've been doing is coming out here just giving people some of these, because I'm going to have more next year. So the goal next year is across this perimeter down here at the back. We'll have this whole thing down here at the back is going to be lavender. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, again, your lavender, you can use it in salves, which is what I do. It's best if you do use, now you can make a salve out of the leaves. I mean, that'll work. And just walking by, it smells really nice. But I also wanted to point out, the blooms will give you the most magnificent scent. Go ahead and dry them. Turn them upside down on the stem. Dry them, and you'll have something really nice. You can put them in these little organza bags, and then put those in your underwear drawer. And I'm going to tell you what, everything smells good. Put some in your closet. Clothes are going to smell fresh and clean. Anyway, there we go. And another glimpse. We came out here actually to talk about the bees, but I'll go ahead and show you the back side. Again, they are outside of the fence. They would be just fine inside, but I need the inside of the fence more for gardening. But this is the back side, as you can see, and they're very happy right here. Again, this is the back, and then they are facing the north. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the lavender, and I'm going to give you a few recipes on how you can actually use the lavender blooms in your cooking, in your culinary. Look at those pretty things. Oh, the bees absolutely love this. Honeybees are just all over the place. And I'm really glad we brought a couple of hives out here so they could be a little bit closer. And the bees, again, they love anything floral. Oh, they love your vegetables as well. But if you'll get some honeybees, and don't run off the bumblebees, and don't let the kids play with them. But what I'm saying is, honeybees and bumblebees, they're going to make your flowers and everything look so much better. You'll get a much better production out of them. Now, what I did, find you a healthy plant, and what I'm going to do again this winter, I would like to have lavender all the way out at the back, at the outside of this perimeter. One reason I like lavender is, first of all, it smells good. And when you cook with it, it's absolutely awesome. But lavender, a lot of your pests do not like lavender or marigolds. It's going to keep a lot of the pests out of your garden. But the bees are absolutely going to love the flowers, whatever you plant outside. Again, marigolds are another good choice for that. Okay, so you can cut off a tiny stem, something about 2 or 3 inches long, and then you'll break off the leaves that are down at the bottom. Leave a bit of the stem, and what you're going to do is put these in water for about a week or so, no more than 2 weeks, and then you want to plant them in a small pot. And out of 4 lavenders that I didn't want to bring, I was afraid I might kill them when we moved from Alabama to here, I just decided to go ahead and propagate more. I planted 150 because I didn't think they would all come up. I'm thinking, well, if I only get 10 of them out of 150, I'll be happy. But I mean, almost everybody came up. Now, this past year, so we've been here a year, and so now we're getting blooms. You'll get blooms about the 2nd year. So what I did this winter, the winter of 2026, I went on ahead and got more stems out of these. And so I've got about 100 of these ready to go back into the ground. I'll do the same thing this coming winter. I'll go ahead and take a few out of the new and out of the old. I'm just going to do a little, we're just going to see what works best, the older ones or the new ones. Now I'll make sure I label them really well also. But there are some roots on these that you wouldn't believe. And again, every single one of these came from just one stem that I cut off and put into a small planter. Okay, so you can see how they're doing. But now just think about it. You can do it. I know if I can, you can. So we're going to go into some recipes. I'm going to show you how you can make cookies, give you some recipes with cookies. Good in salads. I mean, they're super good for you. I make salves and chapsticks out of mine as well. So we're going to kind of dig, and I'll give you some recipes when we come back. Thank you for watching.
Horizon Communications' archives of local high school sports and school programs now spans decades and generations, covering multiple sports and programs. DVDs of these memorable events make the perfect gift for any occasion, and the cost is simple and affordable. The first game or program DVD is $20, the second game or program is $15, and then any others are only $10 each, all on their own individual DVD. Pre-1990 games converted from coaches' films are as low as $5 per game. We have hundreds of games from the late 50s on up. Give us a call at 256-582-7373 Message us on Facebook or email mharden@horizoncommunications.net to check the availability of your desired event. Let Horizon Communications help you with the gift of video to be treasured for a lifetime.
Hello, this is Maury Yancey, President of the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce staff, board, and membership proudly cheer the Wildcats on to victory. When you shop local, you are supporting the future of our young people. The Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce, cheering on the Wildcats.